Good afternoon, world. We've decided to answer a lot of the YouTube questions that have been coming through about why we left Thailand and the future.
Yes.
So let's get started.
Okay, first up, we have a question from Mickey Pure, and he asks, how old were you both when you started travelling together?
We started travelling together when we were 21 years old.
Yes.
There's a 6-month difference in age between us, so I might have been 20. But yeah, that was the age that we started travelling.
Okay, next, Day and Night One's Life asks, how do you earn money? I'm sure Portugal will be more expensive. Do you think you'll have to make sacrifices and cutbacks?
Lots of people ask us how we make money, so I wrote a blog post about it, which will be linked down below. Check it out. You can read all about that there.
As for sacrifices and cutbacks, we realise we will not be able to go out as much as we did in Thailand, where we were going out for lunch or dinner pretty much every day and having coffees a lot. We know that we won't do that as much, and also we'll have a newborn baby, so we probably won't get the chance to go out as much as we were in Thailand. So we're fully aware of that and prepared for that.
Some cutbacks will be made, yes.
Baksar Pawar asks, do you plan to come back to Thailand?
We don't plan to come back to Thailand right now, but we do think we'll be there for holidays in the future.
Yes, so no long-term plans, definitely holidays though. Curtis Phillips, one word from each of you that describes your feelings about your experience in Thailand.
You first?
Yeah, okay. My word is grateful.
And my word is contentment.
Wayne Samuel, it looks like the UK may leave the EU next week. Does this mean you will need visas to live in Portugal?
From what we know, we won't need visas for at least a couple of years because laws will take ages to get.
They won't come into effect overnight. It will take a long time for things to actually happen. So we think that we'll have at least 2 years before anything officially changes.
And that's if Britain leaves the EU in general. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We can't think about that now.
Yeah. Michael Bredbury, how did you adjust to the climate? Any tips on staying cool and dry in hot, humid Thai weather?
Staying cool and dry, put air conditioning on.
Don't go out.
Yeah, fit air conditioning to your car.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think we really did adjust. It did get a bit easier near the end of the 4 years, but it's hot and it is humid and it is sweaty. So
even the Thai locals are sweating in the hot season. It depends where you live to. In Hua Hin, we were a lot hotter and a lot more humid. Whereas in Chiang Rai on the farm, we didn't need air conditioning because the house was on stilts, surrounded by air. So it depends where you live and how hot the season is.
And in December, in the winter in Chiang Rai, it was actually really cold and we were wearing jumpers and scarves and jeans. So it does depend on where you're living, but we didn't really adjust fully. We were still hot and sweaty by the end. John Taylor, if you came back to Thailand, where would you stay? Hua Hin, Chiang Mai or Chiang Rai?
I would like to stay in Chiang Rai. Chiang Rai was my favourite province in the whole of Thailand. It had Mae Salong, it was just beautiful up there, the tea plantations and the farms. It was like Chiang Mai, but less busy and more us.
Yeah, I would choose Chiang Rai as well, definitely.
And the coffee plantations in Doi Chang.
Yes.
Lots of our favourite places are in Chiang Rai and above, so up there.
And it's less busy and less touristy. Chiang Mai is nice, but it is very bustling now, isn't it?
This question gets asked to us a lot, but generally expats that like to have a expat community will prefer Chiang Mai. Expats that prefer to be a bit more isolated, Chiang Rai.
Yeah. Phil Young, what was your most memorable moment in your 4 years in Thailand? That's a difficult one.
It's difficult, but if I try and visualise my perfect scene in Thailand, it would be the Wang Put Tan tea plantations of Mae Salong. If you do get a chance to go up there, seek it out. It's a little bit hard to find, but in my opinion, it is the best viewpoint in the whole of Thailand. We took many shots there. We took drone shots there. It's just so beautiful. You can't not get a camera out.
Yeah.
And it was where one of our favourite hotels was, where one of our favourite restaurants was. So, the Wang Put Tan tea plantations of Mae Salong in Chiang Rai province. Beautiful moments up there.
Yeah, I would say Mae Salong as well. Just sitting in a little roadside cafe and watching the local life go on. That's something that I remember. Watching the children run up and down the street with like a wooden stick that they were playing with.
Rolling a tyre.
Yeah, just...
Very authentic.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Also, similar but different location, sitting up at Doi Chung and walking around the little local village up there. Very nice.
Buying our coffee beans
Yeah.
and then bringing them back down the hill to where our house was.
Yeah.
Many of our best moments were in that house in Chiang Rai on the farm.
Jamie's. I know you're busy with the move, running 2 YouTube channels, a Facebook page, a website, and with a little one on the way, but would you consider starting a 3rd YouTube channel for tutorials? I really enjoy the videos you make and would love to know more about how they are made.
Well, that's a question for me, really, because Sasha doesn't do that kind of stuff.
I wouldn't do it.
To be honest, I wouldn't do it either. We've got far too much on the go, and I don't enjoy it. In my head, I don't feel like a teacher. In my head, I learn a lot from other people. So the idea of doing tutorials, I don't know, it doesn't fit with me. And yeah, I just think if you search anything on YouTube, you would learn exactly what I know. So that's how I learned. And,
yeah, you basically picked everything up from YouTube anyway.
I see something that I like, I YouTube it, I do a tutorial, and it's done. So someone else has already done it for me, and I don't think I would enjoy it. So no, I don't think I'll do that. Okay,
a few people have asked this next question, noting Travelling Man and Ian Buckley. But the question is, would you consider retiring in Thailand?
It's a very difficult question because we're not really at a retiring stage, but we kind of live a similar life to retired people already. So we feel like we've already done a period of time that feels like retirement out there at various points of the country. We enjoyed it. It would make things a lot easier with the visas because retirement visas are easier than business visas. So it's a possibility, yes. But in 30 years' time, I don't know what Thailand is going to be like. It could change a lot. So I'd consider it, yes.
Okay, now we have a few Facebook questions. So first one from Jonathan Ball. Do you feel you were forced out of Thailand due to the difficulties of getting a suitable long-term visa for those under 50? If visas were easy to obtain, would you have considered staying in Thailand? I don't feel that we were forced out of Thailand at all. I think we left on our own terms. Yes, the visas did get more difficult to get, and we were on a 6-month tourist visa at the end. But I wouldn't say we felt forced out. I think we left at the right time for us. We knew we'd wanted to leave for a while. If visas were easier to obtain, I don't think we would have stayed on in Thailand for much longer. Maybe a little bit, but we were ready to go by the end.
I feel the same way, not forced out. It was definitely a factor that we weighed up when we were looking at why we should stay and why we should move on. But it wasn't a primary and only, solo factor for us leaving, no. Yeah. But it does play, it's a big part of it.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Simon Canty asks, what do you think you will miss most about Thailand?
There are lots of things that I think that we'll miss about Thailand, but it's difficult to pinpoint them all.
Thailand's great for many things. The cost of living, the weather.
The coffee.
Yeah, the coffee. Yeah, we'll miss the coffee.
Well, yeah, but we're going to Portugal where apparently coffee is just as good, if not better, from what we've been told. So I don't know how much we're going to miss that.
And I did have a good coffee this morning.
I had a really good coffee today. So I think the main thing that is different about Thailand is the chaos, the dream of going to this foreign exotic land to us, where you see lots of crazy things like loads of people riding motorbikes all on one and people loading up their lorries way high, things that would be super illegal in the West that aren't there. Those kind of things that were exciting when we first moved to Thailand and then got not exciting after a while and became a bit of an irritant. Yeah. I think down the line maybe we'd be like, oh yeah, do you remember when we were there and we saw all those crazy things?
So I guess like just seeing things that you wouldn't normally see.
But really, from what you've seen in our videos, we did live a fairly Western life in Thailand, so I don't feel like we're going to be in a much different situation wherever we go in the world. We have a standard of comfort that we kind of try to maintain wherever we are.
And also, we're quite adaptable, so we don't, like when we're not in England, we don't pine after England, we don't wish that we were eating a roast dinner or... And so when we're not in Thailand, we're not like, oh, I wish I could have a pad thai, or like, we adapt and we move on. So right now we don't miss anything.
No.
Okay, now we have some questions about Portugal. So first one from Vania Fernandez. She's asked a few questions. The first one, how is your Portuguese coming along? We need to pick it up more.
It's not bad. I feel like we've already got to a stage where we can go to a restaurant and ask for a table. I know the numbers from 1 to 10. We can order a coffee, get water. That's it, I think, at the moment. But we haven't. We've done about 2 weeks of learning, and then we stopped because we were so busy moving house. We will pick it up, and we will definitely do more, especially in the month up leading to the permanent move.
Yes.
So yeah, that's how the Portuguese is coming along. Not fast enough.
She also asked, do you find it easier than Thai? Definitely, yes.
Yeah, it's much easier because the syntax is very similar to our language. We have the same alphabet, so we can read things even if we don't understand what that word means.
Yeah.
A lot of the words are shared with French, and we know some French, Italian and Spanish words that we're aware of. So it's about 10% done.
Yeah.
Whereas Thai was completely alien to us.
Yeah.
So yes, it will be easier to learn it, and it feels that way.
She also wants to know, will you teach your child Portuguese?
I don't see why not if we are speaking it.
If we're still there when the child's old enough to start talking and things, then definitely.
I think it depends how much Portuguese we're actually speaking in the first 2 years of its life. If we're speaking a lot of it, we'll just throw it in.
Yeah. And then the last question is, when will you reveal the sex of your baby?
In the beginning of August this year,
Yeah.
we'll do it. We're doing a gender reveal party for our family and friends.
Yes.
And at that party, we'll reveal it to them and we'll film it.
Yeah.
And then we'll put it on YouTube for everybody to see.
Yeah, there will be a reveal party video.
Yeah, so not that long.
But not until August. And then just as an end, she said, I'm excited to watch your Portugal vlogs. It will be interesting to see my country through your eyes.
Yes, it'll be interesting for us as well.
Yeah.
I like the idea that people from Portugal are excited to see Portugal. It makes me excited to show it as well, because we're going to go there with completely brand new expectations and everything. So it's good to know that people are also going to be watching with open eyes and excitement too.
Yeah, that's good. Tom Grease says, when will your Portugal adventure begin, and will you spend time with friends and family first? Well, we are in England right now, in Jay's parents' house, so we are hoping to go to Portugal next week for a little pre-trip, just to check out the house and the area and things.
That's when the adventure will begin.
Yeah.
But the actual living there will begin after my birthday at the end of August.
Yeah. So we need to set a move-in date for the house first, but we're hoping end of August. Okay, and the last question is from Wendell Rafael de Oliveira. Hope I said that right. And he wants to know, why Portugal? When we began to search for the next area to live and the next country, I was doing a lot of European searches, and Portugal kept coming up. Originally it wasn't on our radar even, we hadn't considered it, but the more I looked into moving back to Europe, the more Portugal kept coming up into different searches and different suggestions. So then I started looking at Portugal and realised that the cost of living was fairly low, and the rental price on the house that we will be living in is cheaper than our house in Huahin. So cost of living was the main factor.
That was the beginning.
Yep.
And then when we started realising that we could afford to live there, we looked into like Google image searches of the beaches and the mountains and just the food, and we started to get excited about it. Our other options were Budapest.
Yeah.
And Prague, but it felt a bit urban, and we wanted to kind of move away from a city environment and more natural.
Yeah, and I also think that Portugal is a bit undiscovered. As Europe as a whole, Portugal doesn't quite make it up to the top of the list, does it? I think not many people think of Portugal as a place to go.
Or retire, or buy properties.
Yeah, it's all Spain or France. So we like that not many people may know about it yet, or... So it's kind of new territory.
Yeah, it needs representation. It needs a good visual image. And I feel like it's got so much beauty that's not being shown properly.
Yeah.
And we can do that, and that excites me. I like the idea of doing that.
Yeah.
It looks really good. Just the beaches look fantastic. The weather is meant to be amazing. 3,000 hours of sunshine a year, but not too hot as well. So... And the variety of landscapes just seems fantastic. Yeah,
and it's accessible as well. They've got good transport links, there's a good train system, there's lots of airports, and our nearest airport is only a 90-minute drive away, so it's easy to come back to England.
Easy for family to visit. It's only 2 hours away on the plane.
Yeah.
And then they can get a train to our house, so we don't even have to go and pick them up from Lisbon or Porto.
No.
it just seems ideal. And the idea that Eden doesn't have to fly again, she's getting old now.
Yeah.
That was her last flight. She won't ever fly on a plane again. Now she's going to drive everywhere with us.
Yeah.
If we decide we want to go on a massive road trip, we can go to Germany, Italy, Spain, wherever we want, France.
We can drive.
Just drive there, no borders.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's why Portugal.
Yeah.
I believe that's it.
Okay, yeah, that's all the questions.
Yeah, check the description below to see the links for the blog post about how we make our money. I don't really have to explain that again. And hopefully these questions that we've answered have given you a better idea of why we decided we wanted to explore Portugal next. We do love Thailand. We've had a lovely time there. Like we said in our one-word answers, Sasha feels very grateful for everything that she experienced there. I feel contentment. We learned how to live there, how to feel like we were alive. So we're very grateful and very content with what experiences we did have there.
Yes.
And we want to now see if we can do the same thing with our child in Portugal. So hopefully you'll come along for that journey and you'll be able to experience that too. And maybe a new country will be opened up to you too.
Okay, that is it for now. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.